Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 24. I'm a good girl. I am.
Are you?
I might be.
You're a good girl?
Possibly. I am your good girl host, Dom, and with me, my lovely co-host, Heather.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
It's going.
So, what'd you think of this episode?
I'm so happy.
We're one away from the finale.
So happy.
We're almost there.
I, like, every show we've had this week, I've said it, and I am so happy with this season.
The last season and, like, the very first few episodes of this season had me worried.
Mm-hmm.
This season... Alright, so this particular episode, first and foremost...
Insane.
I'm... like 10 minutes from finishing the episode, and I thought I was 10 minutes into the episode. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time watching it.
I did not want this episode to end. It was an amazing
I couldn't
episode.
believe it was over as quick as it was. I was like, there's no way 45 minutes just went by.
Right.
There's no way. It was insane. What'd you think of Sarah Shepard?
I told you, when was it? It was a couple weeks ago. I said that there was rumor that Sarah Shepard was going to have a small little cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't seen it. And when she came on, I was just like, oh my God, yay. I was so happy.
I didn't think her cameo was going to be Sarah Shepard herself.
I know. And just the way that they were like expert on the case, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of clever.
Yeah, it was very clever. Very clever.
Yeah. So... this was basically trial part 2, and it was the conclusion of the trial, and they're talking about a surprise witness this whole time.
They jumped right into it.
Yeah, they literally jumped right into it. Surprise witness, boom, Leslie walks in, Leslie Stone, which was Mona's quote-unquote friend, that we saw a couple episodes ago when...
episode 18.
Yeah, when Mike flipped out on her about taking the book and all that.
Yep, she was in episode 18. She was the surprise guest on that episode.
Yeah, so what'd you think about her stand on the trial?
She threw them under that bus.
Mm-hmm.
Rode the bus forward, threw it in reverse, went over them, and went right back over them the third time. Pretty
much. You know, and it was crazy. Like, everything was looking bleak. They're like, you know, they're coming up with different witnesses. They talk to, why am I blanking on her name? Allison. They're talking to Allison on the phone. Hannah's on the phone. They're trying to piece together all sorts of things. And then they're like, oh, but I think somebody was there.
Yep.
Right? And then Hannah and, not Hannah, Spencer and Emily confront her. And she's, like, all running away, screaming at Ari's mom about, like, revealing shit.
You just jumped through the first, like, 20 minutes of the episode.
Oh, I know. I'm going to be all over the place because I'm just trying to go on a train of thought because I'm trying to connect everything.
Already talking about Kendra?
No. But yeah. But that was her name, Kendra?
Yes, her name was Kendra.
Yeah. So it was like, you know, what the hell's going on there? And I was like... Wah! You know, it's just like, I don't know. And then, like, do you think that's all? That's it with Kendra? Or do you think there was a little bit more to that?
I don't think there's anything else to Kendra. Like, I think Kendra really seriously, honestly was just a doped out girl in a corner trying to get sober before she went home and got busted.
Yeah.
And that she just, I mean, as the lawyer, as Allie's lawyer said, you know, what good is putting her on the stand when only a few hours before seeing Allie, she saw 8 fingers on one hand?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, like, there's all this stuff is looking very, very bleak for Allison, and the lawyer's like, absolutely not. We can't use her to testify. She sends her home. The girls are like, but we need. She's like, I'm going to put Allison on the stand. And I'm like, you're going to do what?
Yeah.
You're going to do what?
Yeah, she's been sitting here for the past 2 episodes saying putting Allison on the stand would be pretty much suicide for the case.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, she's just like, I'm going to put her on the stand. It's okay.
Yeah. Then we learn Allison broke her arm when she was 3 and never healed right, all this stuff. And, like, when the lawyer pulled this out, and I was like, oh my god, this just saved Allison.
Mm-hmm.
She's good.
Yep.
And then...
defense lawyer.
Yeah, the defense lawyer shits all over with some archery award bullshit, which obviously Allison said that, you know, she forged, but she didn't... Why didn't she bring that up in court?
Hearsay.
Still, it would have been worth mentioning to kind of, because yeah, okay, so hearsay will sway the judge, and the judge is like, nope, hearsay, but you can't erase that from the jury's mind. They heard it. It's going to be a factor. So,
right. Well,
I still would have said it.
Yeah, I guess, but I think at that point she was just so stunned because, as the lawyer said, you know, you give the jury an hour for lunch, and the defense team came back with a trophy.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like it was just they had it and they were waiting to use it. They went and found that.
Yeah.
You know, and the curious part about that is they took an hour lunch after her lawyer brought that up.
Do you think A was involved in that?
A sent a message to the girls, bullseye, bitches.
Yeah.
So I think A has a much deeper hand in what's going on than we originally thought.
Yeah. Definitely. A's playing so many people. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. During all that, while that was going on, we had Mike. Arya confronts Mike. Mm-hmm. Says, you know, you're probably gonna get called up. There's 3 things you got to say: yes, no, and I don't remember. Mm-hmm. You know, and Mike really wants to tell the truth.
Yeah, he wants to you know, he's living with this. He knew about it. He feels like he could have protected and saved Mona had he opened his mouth in the beginning, but he didn't for her, and now he feels like had he said something.
Right, so he wants to speak up, and Arya's like, no, absolutely not. And Ezra's like, no, you can't do that. So Ezra, like, takes Mike away for, like, a little retreat up at the cabin, which we haven't seen the cabin for a good season now.
Yeah.
And...
Caleb's creeper.
Yeah, Caleb's just, like...
You know, just sitting there in the dark, said he didn't want to turn on the light because it would have scared him.
Yeah, and then all it took was for Caleb to say one thing to Mike, and Mike's like, yep, let's go home.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Ezra's like, no, we gotta sit and talk about this, let's unthaw this pizza, and, you know, and Caleb's like, we can't eat at a time like this, and Ezra's like, Mike, can you just go get some stuff out of my trunk, because he clearly wanted to talk to Caleb privately. And in the meantime, all of a sudden the car starts up, and Mike's gone.
Yep. Caleb and Ezra had a little bitch fit together, you know. Caleb's trying to say that he's trying to... I mean, Caleb's obviously trying to protect the girls. Ezra's obviously trying to protect Mike, you know. Back and forth. Caleb's trying his whole, you know, oh, I've been on the streets at his age. I've done this at his age. And, you know, Ezra's throwing it back in his face. And Ezra's calling... What I find really funny about this entire situation... Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that Ezra is treating Mike like he's a child.
Right.
Now, Mike is only 2 years younger than the girls. Mm-hmm. 2 years younger, he was boinking a student.
Yeah.
Who was at that time the same age as Mike.
It's true. It's very true.
He's got some pretty big balls.
It's very true.
He's got some pretty big balls sitting there saying that.
Yeah. But they go chase him down because they're trying to stop, or Ezra's trying to stop him. Caleb doesn't want him to go in alone and just fly in, off the handle. So they jump in Caleb's car. They go down together, which I wish we got to see some of that banter between them while they were driving, because that would have been amazing.
It would have been.
In the meantime, they see Ezra's car pulled off on the side of the road. They jump out. There's an arrow through the windshield. Mm-hmm. An archery bow and arrow through the windshield.
Yep.
Which just happened to coincide with Allison's case with the archery thing, so it was a nice parallel there.
It was.
Which I'm very curious now if this this so-called friend that why do I keep blanking on Allison's name? The so-called friend that Allison paid off to or talked into shooting the archery for her may be the same person. But they go on a big hunt and chase through the woods, and arrows flying. They're dodging, ducking behind boats. Yeah, it's like some crazy camp place or whatever.
Ezra said it was a Pathfinder's retreat.
Oh, yes, Pathfinder's
retreat. And that's important because it comes up later.
It is. Yeah, because... Yeah, well, one thing at a time.
We'll get to that. Keep going.
Yeah, so... this... Oh my god, there's so much in this episode. I'm all over the place.
I know.
But, yeah, so then they find Mike all tied up. Caleb's like, hold on, we need evidence. And he stops, he takes a picture. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was smart.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, super smart, I mean, here's Mike. He's been pepper sprayed. He got hit in the face, Hey, knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
they run over and they untie him. And then they go to the police station. And the first thing that Tanner says is, so your friend is in trouble, and the first thing you do is you stop and take a picture?
Tanner is crooked. We have been back and forth on this all season, since we met Tanner. Because at times, in the beginning, we thought she was crooked. And then she kind of went like on the straight and narrow, and she got really helpful towards the girls. And she looked like she was kind of maybe on their side.
Right.
I honestly think, like, my thing with Tanner at this point in time is I think Holden was the cop who was trying to unbury the truth of what was going on. Mm-hmm. And Tanner got rid of him because Tanner's working or somehow helping A. Like, I really think Tanner's crooked at this point.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
Very well could be. It's like, I don't know, she's very unwilling to help. And I actually just started watching another TV show that's on ABC called Secrets and Lies. Mm-hmm. And the detective in that reminds me very much of Tanner. She's like a super bitch, and everything that she's trying to do does not seem like it's helping the case at all. It seems like a big hindrance.
Right. I mean, because this entire episode, we had a couple of shots of Tanner. Tanner's got the evidence in a locked room from the ice cream parlor factory place, and she's not letting Toby in. She's not letting Toby anywhere near that room. She's making him go scan parking tickets. And what else was it? Get coffees?
Yeah, get coffee.
And she's punishing him. Mm-hmm. And he's not doing well with it at all.
Yeah.
Which
actually pushes him over the edge.
Finally.
Yeah, and he finally confronts Spencer. I mean, earlier on, Spencer and Toby had this confrontation at the courtroom, and, it just led to another big blowout kind of thing, which, Spencer stormed off.
Where she kind of admitted without actually admitting about her little flings.
She didn't admit those to Toby, though, did she? I don't remember her saying anything
to Toby. She said them to Toby. She said that her sister's roommate was very sweet to her.
Oh. Yeah.
Helped her.
Right. Yeah. Well, she definitely told... Was it Emily? I think it was Emily. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she told Emily.
Open mouth or closed. Drink your sauce.
Yeah. So I think the combination of all that kind of like pushed Toby over the edge, and he's like, if they make me choose, I'm not choosing the badge.
Right.
I was shocked because that's not the Toby that we've seen leading up to this point.
This entire season we've seen Toby and Spencer crumbling.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden we've got Toby coming back.
Yep. And then because we had earlier on in the episode we had Arya opened up a package that had a cow's tongue in
Hmm.
it, and
Is
it's
that what that
like,
was? Was it a cow?
yeah, and it seemed like a message, I'm gonna rip your tongue out kind of thing if you say
Mm-hmm.
anything. I was wondering like why don't they try to contact Toby? Like I can understand not going to Tanner or any of the other police, but why
Well,
didn't
like,
Arya try to contact Toby?
even Emily brought up about the Kendra thing, you know, bring in Toby. Maybe he'll talk, maybe she'll talk to a guy in a uniform. And Spencer was like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I can understand Spencer's reluctance for getting Toby
Right.
involved, but Emily and Arya, I mean, they all go behind each other's backs anyway. So
Yeah.
like, they're getting Caleb involved in stuff. Even before Hannah was in jail, they were like sneaking around with Caleb. Arya and Caleb were like hacking into her college, and she didn't get Hannah's permission for that.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, then so we had the Pathfinders, right? We met them when they first went to go look for the person that was supposedly seeing
Those weren't the
Allison.
Pathfinders.
That wasn't them?
No, that was the church group. Um, that was a church group, Divine Trinity Youth Group of Harrisburg.
Oh,
The
okay.
boy that they were talking to was named Matt Buckler. I mean, the show really, I think they were trying to make sure that we remembered that because they zoomed in on that for a hot minute. That might have been a clue to something that we'll see later on. But it was Divine Trinity Youth Group of Harrisburg. That was a actual church group. That was not the Pathfinders. Pathfinders came up again later with Andrew. Yes, 12 years. Yep, while they were being chased around by A.
Oh, my mic was muted. I don't know how long my mic was muted for. Yeah, so Andrew's part of the Pathfinders Club, and then we see Arya when she was trying to call Ezra and Mike.
Right. She was trying to check in on Ezra and Mike. They weren't answering, so then she tried to call Andrew multiple times, she says, and Andrew wasn't answering. Andrew met up with her during the jury's deliberation, while they were in the back making up their mind about guilty or not guilty. Andrew came up and was basically like, hey, sorry I didn't answer my phone. I spaced out. I was so busy writing my yearbook paper that my phone died. So, Arya's trying to keep her mind off of the thing, and she asks to see his paper, and she laughs and says, I didn't know you were a Pathfinder. And he goes, yeah, for 12 years. You never know when that's going to come in handy.
Yeah, so that's instantly getting us suspicious of Andrew.
Which, everybody's been suspicious of Andrew for the past couple of episodes because of how creepy he's been.
Right, he's been obnoxiously creepy.
Yeah, I mean, like earlier on in the episode, he had that moment, I don't even know what to call it, with Arya when she was in the yearbook room and her mom was taking the pictures. He'd found out that she had contacted Ezra to help with Mike and got really obsessively butthurt about it.
Yeah, he did. He like showed up at the yearbook thing that Ari was working at, and it's just like that's like the makings of like a psycho jealous boyfriend.
Yeah, like this is reminding me of like Norman Bates and Psycho. Like he's talking about, she Arya's all, oh well, my parents trust him, and he's like, oh, so he's got it in good with the parents too, and he's getting really shitty about it.
Yeah, he was. It was really, really terrible.
Yeah, like Arya's smarter than this, so I think there's something going on there, but I don't think he's as big as a clue into the A thing as people are thinking he might be. I think he's got some sob story, ulterior side story that they're trying to distract us with.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of side story stuff like the barrel.
Mm.
We still didn't find anything out about the barrel. I don't think we're going to.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like, I think this is another lacrosse stick.
Toby's mom.
Yeah. Toby's mom, lacrosse stick, dog.
Kickboxing guy.
What was the parrot's name, even though the parrot showed up again? I forget.
I don't remember the parrot's name. Parrot.
No, it had a name, and it was like...
Mm.
I don't know. It was like a name that we... As soon as I say it, you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Was that Polly or something?
No, it wasn't even like a parrot name. I'm gonna Google it real quick. But,
That's what I was doing.
But, Tippy, yeah. So,
Tippy the parrot.
yeah. I mean, like, it's not a common parrot name, but as soon as you say it, you're like, oh, yeah, that was his name.
Yeah,
It's no doubt about it. But, like, Tippy's been, like, where did Tippy go kind of thing. Now we know Tippy's with A, but, you know, so... I mean, so that's kind of resolved, but I don't think we're going to ever get anything about lacrosse stick, the dog, the barrel, you know, a knife box kicker dude, you know, stuff like there's just a lot of stuff that I don't think is ever going to be answered. Just kind of like red herrings to mislead us and get us excited for absolutely no reason. But then, so while everything's going on, everything kind of comes to a head when the jury comes together and makes the decision for the trial. And they end up finding Allison guilty of murder in the first degree. Which I want to say is not really a surprise, but I was still kind of surprised. I expected it, but I was still surprised. I mean, what did you think the verdict was going to be?
We both wanted her to be not guilty last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't surprised.
I wasn't surprised either, because we both agreed it could have gone either way. Like, I wasn't surprised by it, but it definitely, the feels were still there.
Yep. And what about the A scene at the end of the episode?
Was that a hint towards the prom?
Very well could be.
We were told that there was going to be a prom at some point, because obviously the girls are going to have a prom. They are in senior year. You know, I was kind of tossing around the idea, maybe prom, or maybe, you know, like matching the flower to the suit. A's a guy and getting the flower ready, but then I was like, but that's a corsage that goes on a wrist. Are there two A's where there's going to be a guy with the girl? Is it going to be Jenna with somebody dressed in the suit escorting her because she's a blind bitch?
I mean, for all we know, the suit may be for somebody else that A's going to kidnap and put in the suit, you know? Like...
Right. It could be anything. I mean, the suit could be for a lackey.
It could be.
You know? I mean, it could be anything.
Literally be for anything.
It could be.
So, anything else for this particular episode before we start going on wild theories and speculations for the finale? I mean, there was the scene with Hannah and Allison in the prison, you know, in the laundry room and stuff like that, but that didn't really lead to very much.
Yeah. I mean, that was just really good stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
we speculated last week, we saw Hannah's hand getting slammed into the dryer. We already called that, you know, and then Allison burned herself again.
Being really smart.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But all right, so the synopsis for next episode, episode 25 is called Welcome to the Dollhouse. A's always had fun playing with Arya, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer, but now they have the biggest game to date in store for the girls. Words, they're tough.
Words.
As shocking secrets come to light and the biggest clue to the A mystery is revealed, is this one playdate the girls or the liars can survive? With shocking twists and turns, will the girls finally find out who A is?
Mm-hmm.
So, this is it. This is like the last chance.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think A is? We're locking it in. Not 3 answers, not 2 answers, 1 answer. 1 answer.
I have one. I have like 8 different people.
Doesn't matter. Lock in your top one.
I think Mona's still alive.
Probably.
I think Maya is still alive.
Ooh.
I think Maya has something to do with this.
Alright, so before we make guesses, the twin theory.
You like what's going on. I do think the twin theory is true.
Okay, because there's been a lot of talk about the twin theory. So
there has been. I think the twin theory is very true.
What has been said, though, keep this in mind, what has been said is Courtney will not show up. That's not to say Allison doesn't have another twin sister named something else.
Please also remember that they said that there would not be a Courtney or an identical twin. There's also something called a fraternal twin, where the twin can look completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they've never said anything about that. This is a show where the writers like to twist their words and use them the way that they want to.
Right, and but I still think it's a female. The reason being is remember the flashbacks of Allison when she was younger. It was I believe the Christmas episode, and we saw 2 boxes of dresses.
Right. Also, back in the beginning of season 1. Allie told the girl in a flashback. Allie was telling the girls a horror story of a twin who went crazy and killed its sister.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been a lot of subtle hints to it.
Yeah. So who do we think the twin is? Whose twin is it? Should I say?
I think it has something to do with Spencer, Allie, and Jason.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a wild stab in the dark. That if Mona is still alive,
that's the other one. It could be Mona.
I think it's Mona's twin because there was one dead in the trunk of the car, and if Mona's still alive, I don't know how she would have faked that.
Right.
And what purpose that would have served, because there's no evidence, there's no security camera that saw Mona's body, there's no witness, there was no reason for that scene,
right?
Other than to fool us as the audience, if that's the case. And you can't exactly explain that as, she was faking to fake us out. So I think that's the case.
Once again, Leslie did bring up, that she loved Mona's mind because it was like Mona was 2 different people.
Right. Yeah. All right. So with that out of the way, A. Who's A? Number 1 choice. Go.
Number 1 choice. Number 1 choice for A. I want it to be Aria.
You want it to be Aria?
Aria or Hannah?
I think it's gonna be Aria. I want it to be
I
Hannah.
want it to be one of the girls. I really want it to be one of the girls.
That would be good.
Because
it brings a lot of plows. I remember something you had mentioned, which was the speech that was in the preview for the finale, and it seemed Icelandic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It isn't.
It
is
German.
A recording.
It's German.
Yes, and it's a recording.
Right. It's German, and there I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody went through and looked up all the characters' last names to see which one had German history to it. Mm-hmm. There was 1 person in the entire series that showed up with German origins.
Who was it?
Lucas.
Mm-hmm. We haven't seen Lucas in forever.
Yeah. Lucas's last name has Germanic roots.
We have not seen Lucas since the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
He was dressed as Santa.
Mm-hmm. So if Lucas is involved, would that be kind of satisfying?
No.
No?
I don't want it to be one of these off-the-wall, okay, I'm here, I'm not here, I'm here, I'm not here people.
But
you know what I mean?
That would also be the perfect person for A to B, though. Somebody who's not in their face all the time, because that's... I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard
It
to
doesn't
explain that
seem
off.
satisfying though.
It
Like I
doesn't.
would be more satisfied if it was somebody that we've stared at for constantly for the past almost 5 seasons now, five
Yeah.
full
Okay. So let's say
seasons.
it's Arya, right? But
I would be thrilled.
then they all got the text message in the courtroom at the same time. Bullseye, bitches. Like, how could Arya pull that off?
Andrew, somebody else she's manipulating.
If it was
Ezra,
Andrew, I don't think her and Arya would be in this like petty little bickering love quarrel.
Ezra. She could have Ezra by the balls. I mean, please look at her when she was in the brew talking to him about taking Mike.
Yeah, but they're also having a lovers quarrel.
They're always having some kind of quarrel.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to be one of these on again off again characters. But so you got through saying how the writers and everything love to twist their words.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that's been advertised the second half of the season is the reveal of Big A.
Mm-hmm.
Does that necessarily mean we're going to find out who it is?
I saw that there will be a scene with A without a hoodie or a mask. Does that mean that they're going to blatantly point at A and say, ooh, 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 ooh? No. He or she could just have a regular scene without their hood like they have in every God
yes,
knows
but
how many episodes.
To tie the word revealed into that, right? What that seems to me as at least one character on the show is going to know who it is, but we probably still won't. Because I don't see how they're going to go through a whole nother season.
I heard.
How many seasons are left? 2. I could see if this was the last, like if there's one more season after this, if they ended this on the reveal. But
I saw something. It was the layout for what the next 2 years are going to look like for Pretty Little Liars, for how they're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to bring it up and show you, but I'm afraid if I even touch Google right this second, that my internet's going to again.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like at least one or more of the characters are going to find out who A is, but I think we're still going to be in the dark.
I think that we'll get an answer, some kind of answer, because that's everything. Marlene has been tweeting out the ass that we will know.
Would you be extremely disappointed if we didn't actually, as viewers, find out?
Yes.
So
I would be extremely disappointed.
That's dangerous territory to step on if they're playing around with words like that. Like, we're gonna find out, because at that point you're talking to the fans, right? You're not talking to people who don't watch it to try to entice people. You're talking to the fans, and when you start tugging around on the fans, that's dangerous territory.
Because this is 5 years of people asking the same question.
Yep.
Who is A?
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge question. This is a huge thing. You know, it's not something to play lightly with, and I really hope that they don't.
Yeah. I something I wanted to try. I don't know if this is gonna work because I have really terrible phone service. But I'm gonna call Varjak's number right now.
Okay.
All right. It's 727 242 7839.
Okay.
And let's see if we can get an answer.
Okay.
Or if it will even ring, because my service is terrible.
If I need to, I can use my phone.
It's dialing.
Okay.
But it's still looking for service, apparently.
You are also in a basement. If I need to, I have my phone right here.
Yeah, that might be the better option.
Okay. Because I can just speakerphone it right here. Read off that number to me.
727
727
242
242
7839.
39. See the phone number? Yeah. Okay. I'll do this.
If someone answers, you got to start asking them questions.
I don't want to answer. No.
I'll talk to them.
Take messages.
What did it say?
I have no idea. Let me I'm sorry, this phone number is not programmed to take messages.
Huh. Okay, so apparently what had happened is I have a sound clip I'll play. I was hoping to get it live, but
That was a live number for a little bit.
You reached Jack's residence. No one is home to take your call. Please leave a message.
you would get a voicemail that said, "You've reached the Varjak residence. No one's home to take your call. Please leave a message." If you've reached the Varjak residence, that sounds like a family to me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, it's not a person.
Now, is this fans actually dialing that number?
Yeah, there's a lot of fans dialing the number. And apparently there's been a couple different outcomes. We've had the voicemail come up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've actually had people answering the phone. So, yeah.
I never thought to even try that.
Yep.
I like all this time, because I had that number. I wrote that number down when it aired for the notes, and I never once thought to pick up my cell phone and physically call Varjak's phone number.
Let's see. I just had it 2 seconds ago. Just had service, and then I lost it again.
I heard it. It went blue.
Yeah.
I mean, I just tried to call it, and it's telling me that it's not accepting.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they've done stuff like that.
Have you tried texting it?
I've not. I know a couple people have, and they've signed it Holly, and they've gotten no response back.
I'm going to try it really quick. Message.
So, if it's not programmed to take calls, then...
I'm sorry, this number's not programmed to take messages.
Yeah, so that's the message that you get now. But I don't know. This episode's gonna be great. I think it's Arya. I want it to be.
I want it to be one of the girls.
I want it to be
so
Hannah.
bad. I know. I would love it to be Hannah and Caleb.
Yep.
Like kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde going thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are pointing at Ren and Melissa too, though.
Yeah, they're. I don't know. Maybe. I hope the NAT club comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get some answers on that. Johnny's disappeared.
Don't forget that Marlene did hint that 525, next week's episode, will have a lot of similarities to season 2's finale.
I don't remember season's 2 finale. What was that?
I can't look it up and read it to you. You have to do it.
What? You don't remember?
I looked it up earlier and I don't remember it now.
Just tell me. You don't remember?
Yeah, this was earlier today. I did a lot today. I went to a doctor today.
It's been so long since the season 2 finale.
I know. It's.
That's the one when Mona was revealed, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was when Mona was revealed. Like.
Yeah. So let's just go off that. It's gonna be very reminiscent to that. Mona's revealed to be alive. Let's go with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or Mona's twin.
Yeah, could be. Outside of that, anything else you want to cover before we take off?
I think that's everything.
Just the title, Welcome to the Dollhouse, really intrigues me.
I am so excited.
So.
I know there's a couple people that I know that are super excited to see that next week. They were really excited for this week's episode, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that about wraps things up here.
Yeah.
So, Heather, where can the people find you?
Anywhere and everywhere on the interwebs at Chronixia.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week. See you guys later.
Bye.
Dun dun dun. Watch, it's gonna be like Arya's mom. Somebody completely random.
Oh, I loved how you heard Byron in this episode call for Mike, and then Ella was there too. I was so happy that there were some parents in this episode.